This place is trashed. Hey, Steve!
Dude, don't yell! What the hell's wrong with you, man? Can't you see that we got these people attacking us?
Yeah, I'm here, man. You called me up. You said you wanted me to come here and help you guys out. I mean, what the hell's been going around here?
Dude, where the hell is your gear?
What do you mean I ain't got my gear on and I'm ready? Dude, I brought ink pens, I brought paper, I brought extra notebooks for y'all to help you. You know, I got calculators. I even brought my old school ass abacus if you want to do that sort of action.
What?
What the hell are you talking about, man? You said you wanted me here for division.
No, man, we called you here to come play the Division 2, not to help us with math problems. God.
Oh, okay. That explains why everybody was shooting at me. Okay, well, I'll go and just get my stuff right now.
Oh, guys, they got Nate. Oh, man. Damn idiot. Let's go and do this in honor of Nate! Ah!
Hello everybody, it's me, Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I'm back with another game review. This time I'm reviewing Tom Clancy's The Division 2. It was developed by Massive Entertainment and published by Ubisoft and was released on March 15th of 2019 for the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and Microsoft Windows. It takes place 7 months after the green poison outbreak from the first game, this time focusing on the agent traveling to DC after receiving a distress call. Once you arrive there, you join the local joint task force that has their home base set up in the White House, and much like the first game, you work to liberate city districts, rescue hostages, and do side missions on your quest to endgame. But this time, you can't successfully play through the game solo or also with friends, which I actually really love that fact, because the first game, it was designed in a way to where you couldn't really successfully do anything solo. This time, you actually are successful. It's a bit more of a challenge, but still totally doable. Now, a new addition to this game compared to the first is the addition of 8-player raids, which honestly add a lot of spice and a lot of stress when you're doing them, and they're a welcome addition to this package. Now, at launch, I have to point this out because I have a lot of people that ask, it has a 45 gigabyte install for a PS4, and has a 20 gigabyte day one patch for it as well. I do know a lot of people who pre-ordered this game got to play it 3 days early, and I do believe that they got the same patch 3 days ago that we got today for this game. I'm not sure really what it adds to it, but I'm sure at 20 gigs it probably adds a lot of new content to it. Now, as a looter shooter third-person co-op game, this game is technically pretty damn sound. It's way better than the original, though it does have some glitches with the audio and occasional thing with slowdown, but nothing actually seemed worse than the first game, a much better improvement. A good example is the time to kill on enemies seems greatly improved, guns seem to handle be a little bit more improved, and the combat and enemy variety has improved as well, with a lot less of the bullet sponge enemies from before, with most of the enemies having way better defined mechanics for each of them that allows you to figure out what their weaknesses are, how to fight the different classes of enemies as they attack you. Now, one thing I have noticed, though, is the big boss encounters, that I'm going to call them, seem to be just nothing more than a bigger version of a previous enemy that is a bullet sponge. Fortunately, a lot of these enemies that have armor on them and stuff, you can shoot the armor off of them, which actually really has a good visible indentation of that you're actually doing damage to them, and it doesn't just feel like you're just pumping clip and a clip and a clip and a clip into them without actually seeing some sort of difference that you're actually hurting them. Now, the game world also seems a much welcome improvement with the varied environments that's designed for. It has cityscapes, wooded areas, and more that you get to travel through, unlike the first game where everything, while it looked pretty, was all in snow. This one has a lot more variety to it, and that a variety in a game like this always definitely helps. Now, another thing I have to point out that I am actually a huge fan with is this game has a very well done voice chat system. Now, you think, well, Nathan, is that really that big of a deal? Well, you'd be amazed how many games in this day and age that are online or have co-op modes or are meant to be like a somewhat pseudo MMO, they have a very piss poor voice chat system. This one actually has a pretty decent one that allows you to be able to keep in touch with your friends, talk to them, issue orders, or just bullshit. And I actually find it a great welcome addition to how well it works. Now, you can also join your friends' levels even if you're not at the same level. Now, what I mean by that is, let's say your buddy's a level 20 and he's going through a certain area and you're only a level 10. You can actually still join him and go through the level, and the game will somewhat adjust the way the combat difficulty is for you to make it to where it's still a challenge, but it's still playable for you to go through with your friend, and you'll still get level appropriate loot drops as well as your friend will. It makes it to where it's actually pretty fun to where you can still play with your friend even if they're way far along or way behind with you, and still help out and work together as a team. I actually really like that. Now, as for overall game length, this game is a whopper. It will take you, give or take, just about 40 hours just to get to the end game content. And that's not even including other additions like the PvP modes like Skirmish and Domination, and also the Dark Zones have 3 dedicated areas to them, and all of this doesn't even include all the side content, missions, and other things you'll come across during this game. Now, what I mean by that is you'll be doing a main story mission. You'll talk to the guy and he'll be like, okay, go out here, take down these guys. And when you're out there, you'll find this area and you'll end up, ooh, look, there's treasure chests basically. And you'll go and you start, just looting an area, getting cool, all kinds of loot drops, weapons and items and gear. And along the way, you'll hear some noise going on, some gunshots, some people screaming for help. And you'll realize it's some sort of dynamic thing that's going on with another side mission that appears, and you can go and go off the beaten path and do that mission, gain more loot, rescue some people, clear out some enemies, and then head back to your main mission and continue on. And the main thing with a looter shooter is the amount of content that you'll receive that keeps you going back for more. First of all, the game has to be a certain balance of challenge and fun in order to get you hooked to keep playing a decent game. And also the main mechanics with a game like this that also is supposed to have end-game content is the fact that the looter shooter aspect, you have to have enough loot drops that gives you stuff that makes you want to keep playing and for more stuff, including the fact of your character. The first game, all you could get was beanie hats, and that was so damn annoying. This one, you have such more of a versatile amount of items you can just get to make your character look customizable in terms of all the little doodads and stuff, the hats, the gear he wears, the weapon upgrades, and everything like that. And it is a welcome addition to an all around a much better game than the first one. Now, keep in mind, if you did not like the first Division, you're probably not going to like the gameplay style of this one. This one does not deviate from the same basic style. The same way the game plays is roughly, give or take, very close to what the original one was, but a much better version. This is pretty much what I deem to be what they originally wanted the Division 1 to be. The first Division game. This seems more like what they were wanting to go for when they actually came out with it. And all around, I could say if you were a fan of the first game, you will absolutely like this game as well. It's not drastically different enough where you can go, wow, oh my God, look at all these changes. But it's enough to where you can go, okay, that's nice. I like that. They changed this, they changed that. But there is one point I also have to make it clear. This game does have microtransactions in it. So if you're a person that refuses to play a game because it has microtransactions in it, stay away. Fortunately, at least right now, they appear only to be cosmetic. Like you pay real money, which the prices aren't that bad, but they're still not that good. They could be a lot cheaper on the cosmetic items like outfits and stuff like that for your character. So I have never been a fan of microtransactions in a full-priced game, especially something that's going to have DLC coming up down the future pipeline and everything like that. And, like I said, I am against microtransactions in games, but as long as you do it to where it's only for cosmetics only, and the prices aren't ridiculous, and as long as you still get a good sense of progression, upgrading, leveling up, and loot drops along the way, I don't really have too much of a problem with it. You can play through the full game and never have to spend a dime more than what you actually already paid for the game. In the end, I would have to say this is a improvement from the first game. It's not something that is like a massive drastic improvement that makes it seem like a superb version of the game, but to me it feels like this is the game they were originally trying to do when they made the first The Division. And in the end, if you were a fan of the first one, I could say for the sheer amount of content you get, the fun of the looter shooter aspect of constantly getting loot drops and everything like that, the pretty decent gunplay mechanics and other features as well, I would say go ahead, pick this game up. It actually does seem worth it for the price of $60, especially considering over 40 hours of just a campaign mode before you even get into the end game mode. And like I said, in the future, once I'm able to really get through a lot of the end game components and everything, I'll probably release a video on that as well. But in the end, I would have to say this actually is an improvement. It's a pretty decent game. I do like where they went with this. And in the end, I would say it's definitely worth picking up and playing if you're a fan of these style games. This was Nate, aka Devil Dog. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching this video. Please leave in the comments below what you think about this game. If you think it plays better or you think it plays worse than the first game, make sure to leave it in the comments. Make sure to hit that bell icon to stay updated whenever I release any new videos. Give me a like. Likes, thumbs ups are always a good thing. They always help my channel. And remember, I always end my videos by saying, have fun, play hard, and remember, people, the devil is in the details. Peace out.